Welcome to episode 3 of our 6-part Pokemon Past and Future series. This is a series where Andy and I are both designing a respective game from this series. Today, on this episode, we are revealing the starter Pokemon for each of our regions. And we have each come up with 3 sets of 3 starter Pokemon. Or did I say that wrong? We have each come up with 3 lines of starter Pokemon each.
We have 3 lines of starter Pokemon.
Yeah, we've each come up with 9 Pokemon. So how do you want to divide this?
All this math. Part three of 6 parts with 3 Pokemon each, but 3 have 3 chains. And
wait till next week when we do 8 character designs each, which I guess is less than this, but because
man, that's gonna be horrible.
I feel like middle Pokemon just aren't quite as design intensive as other things. Like the middle evolution is just kind of like there. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel that.
How do you want to divide it? Who do you want to go first? Do you want to go first this time?
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and try to screen share,
okay.
and I want to briefly play a quick game of catch up from our last episode.
Oh yeah.
So we did go into some detail, and we showed some of our maps from our respective regions for Pokemon. And you had named all of your towns on your map, and I wanted to do the same. So I edited my map a little bit, and I'm going to show that to you now. Here's my new map.
Nice.
Featuring our
it's landscape.
Yeah. So that's one thing I changed from last time. You're welcome. But yeah, so I kind of relived the story you were telling me about how it was difficult to name all your towns. You really tried to make it consistent with the Pokemon trend of the names. I didn't. With like my Pokemon names, I was just like it's hard enough just to name them, but then making sure it fits with Pokemon, I couldn't do it. So I feel like my Pokemon game that I'm making is all about forcefully intruding in on the series and making the series adapt to what I make.
Okay, great.
So this is my region, Passali. It's based off of Italy. We start from left to right, but as you see, the path kind of divides. So you can kind of explore the region however you'd like, and knock out the gyms however you'd like. So the gyms we have, or the major cities with gyms, are symbolized by these diamond things. We have the routes. We have kind of optional places you can check out, or like tourist attractions in purple. So we have the daycare, observation tower, and a coliseum, and the airport, which I thought the airport would be like a cool way to maybe, similar to Animal Crossing, like you can battle other trainers or meet other trainers at their airport, or trade Pokemon at the airport or something. But yeah, and then the blue little dots here are for the wild areas.
Nice.
But that's something that I just wanted to share first, because as the series continues, my vision for my stuff is going to change as I see what you do.
Sure.
And maybe vice versa.
I think both of our things might change a little bit. Oh.
So all 3 of my starters. So since this is Pokemon Past, I wanted to really think about, what does past mean? And I thought that it'd be neat if all 3 of your starter Pokemon were like ghosts or spirits of the past. So you'll see like a kind of a spirit / ghost theme with all 3 of my starters, starting with this one. So this is Brush Hush. It is the grass starter. I took a cue from you, and you included the shiny version. So
I did not this time. I did not have time.
Well, one of us has to now, so that'll you can do it next time.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it'd be fun to kind of explore a ghost concept with a grass type.
Hmm.
All the grass types to this point have been based off of like animals,
Yeah.
so I thought this would be the one that stands out and is a little different. Uh, I also thought it'd be fun, like, so the concept of this Pokemon is that it has this little paintbrush and it paints the leaves when the seasons change.
Oh, I like that.
So yeah, so uh, Brush Hush evolves into Palif.
Ooh.
So Palif is an experienced Brush Hush, but now carries around a palette of color and kind of follows around the young Brush Hush and shares their colors with them and gives them pointers on painting the leaves.
Nice.
And then once Palif has both painted and been the palette, they become a master, and they evolve into Van
Oh,
Gool.
I like that. I like the name a lot.
Yeah. So he now has the palette and the brush.
And a mustache.
I love the mustache here, and I was thinking about creating one for different gender for each gender, but I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter if it's male or female.
Women
or whatever,
can have
like,
mustaches
you can still
too.
have a cool. You can still have a cool mustache. Like, you know, you can't tell me who can and can't have facial hair. So yeah,
I like that.
I this, and then here's all three of them together.
Nice.
This one's my favorite line. It's all downhill from here. Which is really weird because I usually don't gravitate towards. I think other than Turtwig, I've never really gravitated towards the grass type, but I really like this line.
So,
okay, so
this is my
Tasmanian
least
Devil.
favorite one. This is my grass starter. I'll do grass because you just did your grass. This is based off the Tasmanian tiger, which is an extinct or thought to be extinct animal from Australia. I hate this, and I hate everything that I did in this drawing.
No, you really gotta sell us on it, though.
This is absolutely my least favorite. I could not get this to work in a way that I liked. I honestly think I should have chosen a different animal because it's such a strange, like, it looks like a Shiba Inu mixed with like a rat. It's like the shape. And it was very difficult. But yeah, so, you know, I'm giving it some stripes, giving it those tiger stripes. It's also known as the Tasmanian wolf. So it's, I think it's more closely related to dogs, but it's like the common name is Tasmanian tiger or thylacine or something like that. But yeah, here I start to make it kind of grassy. I add the little leaves to the tail. I thought about doing like petals on the little neck area. And you can see my whole process. I'm like, okay, I want to get the other two out of my mind. I want to worry about the final evolution, which I tried to make a little more fox-like, a little more wolf-like, just to kind of make it look different. And also, I hated the way the other two looked like they had like chihuahua heads. Not a favorite of mine. But yeah, so getting close to the end, I'm going to start inking here in a second. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I didn't want to include a time lapse on mine is that I made each one in a separate file.
Gotcha.
I keep figuring it out more and more each time, but next time I'll know to make it all in one. Ooh, I like the flowers on the tail.
Yeah, I was trying to make it. See, here's the thing: is like this one. The reason I don't like it is because they don't have enough. There's not enough of like a Pokemon change between them. They're just kind of like bigger than the last one, with a little bit more flowers. But I don't know. It's fine. Yeah.
I have a Pokemon in my chain that I'm going to show you that is very similar. So.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Like I said, it's really fine. Like I don't like it. Which one are you going to do next? Fire or water?
We're going to do
Oh,
We're gonna
I
do
guess I could say
fire
the
next.
names. Hold on. Let me say the names of them. uh, so the names of those, the baby one is Tigrass. The the second evolution is Stripedal, and then the final evolution is Blue Mall. Those are the names of them that I came up with about 10 minutes
Okay.
before we started recording. So
Those are really nice names.
thanks.
Tiegrass. Nice. Yeah, that's that whole like I'm sure there's a whole department dedicated to just
Oh,
naming the Pokemon because
absolutely.
there's a huge portion of them that are just
Mm-hmm.
puns.
Well, and it has to work in so many different languages. Like I'm sure that like they have to probably work together. Like I'm assuming that there's what do you call it, localization teams that probably have to like work together and be like, okay, what was the like original meaning of this like name, and like is there a pun that
Mm-hmm.
we have to like keep or try and get rid of or whatever to make it work better in context for this region? Like, yeah.
All right. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work. I mean, it already has
I
been, but
enjoy it. I just think like I didn't have anything in mind. I'm like trying to do it in like 2 days before like showing it to you was like that was the part that's
mm-hmm.
stressful.
Yeah, the race against the
Mm.
clock. All right, I'm gonna do my fire next
Ooh.
because I'm not a huge fan of the fire. Um, but
Okay.
well, so this is Flamon.
Flame on.
Yeah. I couldn't think of a pun that incorporated the shield. He
Mm.
is like it's another spirit based Pokemon that has the burning spirit of the warrior has infused with an ancient shield long left behind,
Ooh.
and it creates a Flamon. So we have the shiny version and then the regular version. Uh, I liked it. I thought it looked a little like, even though I was really trying to accurately imitate like the paintings of Roman warrior shields, it still looks a little like a tiki mask to me.
I can see that a
Uh,
little bit, but I think like knowing the context, yeah, I don't. It is shield and shoulders and a cape for sure.
mm-hmm. uh, but yeah, and then I also um, maybe I'll maybe at the end of the series I'll try to loop back around and show you the time lapse for this one, because this
Okay.
one and maybe one other chain are the only interesting time lapses. I really tried to incorporate feet on this
Okay.
Pokemon, and I could not figure out a way to add legs to this thing. And I was looking at like Torchic and
Mm.
Charmander and Cyndaquil, and I was like, they all have legs. There's no fire starter that doesn't have legs. They just kind of float. And so I was like, wow, like I'm really pushing the bar here. Like
Wow.
I don't know, I
There's
even though I
no
was like,
starter
yeah, I really
Pokemon that
want
float
to.
at all, I don't think. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't. I have no problem making a bunch of changes to the series, but that one was the one that like that was really hard for me. I was like, I don't. What does this imply for the rest of Charizard can fly,
Yeah.
and that was my rationale behind parts of it. But anyway, so that's Flamon,
Okay.
and then Flamon uh, evolves into uh,
I like
Helmflame.
that one.
Uh, so this one gets a little weird. I really wanted to add arms, so I gave him like bird
Mm.
talons, kind of, using Blaziken as inspiration, and then also like the warriors and eagles and falcons are pretty synonymous with each other. So I gave him talons, and I thought this one would be neat if he or if it threw fire javelins. So I thought that'd be an interesting thing to do. Uh, and then Helm Flame evolves into
Ooh.
Fire Game.
Ooh.
Uh, this one kind of features a departure from other features of the other two. I could not figure out like a shield, a helmet, and then I was like, what other? It's like a spear. Is the whole Pokemon just a really thin spear? I don't. So then I was like, oh well, what if it? What if it just fuck it? What if it turns into a bird? So I kind of had like the flame becomes too strong to be contained by the object, and so it bursts holes through the sides and wings spread, and then those talons come out from the bottom.
Nice. I like this.
But yeah, so here's the full chain of all of them next to each other.
Oh.
I definitely think this one is. I think the next two of my chain. The first one is obvious, like is my 100% favorite. I wouldn't change a thing with the first chain. This chain, I wish there. I think that middle evolution is a little ugly, and I'd like to make it kind of complement the first and the last one is a little better. And then my last one, I feel like there aren't enough big changes, but I'll show you that one after I see your fire starter.
All
But
right.
yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
All right, so I wanted to stick with the
Ooh.
Chinese zodiac animal theme for the fire starter, so I decided to go with a ram, sheep for this one. Uh, you can tell I quickly realized that fire and like ram is very like satanic. So
Yeah.
there's a point where I just kind of committed to it being kind of like an evil fire Pokemon. Not really sure what that has to do with Australia necessarily. I wanted to avoid any like brush fire, wildfire like uh,
Oh
connection.
yeah.
I thought that would
Yeah.
be not very good. So I just kind of doodled around, tried to, you know, rams and sheeps have some really odd shaped faces, kind of like that last animal. Like, eventually, I kind of hit a rhythm. I decided to make this one a little more humanoid, and I put it on its hind
Yeah, I
legs,
wanted to.
which is
I
more satanic.
I wanted to avoid humanoid because
I
I
hate
know how
that.
you feel
I
about it.
hate that so much, and I like my whole thing is like, well, it doesn't look quite like a starter because it's not fucking standing like all the other fucking starters that they make anymore. Like, so kind of goes off the rails here. I'm essentially like making a satanic effigy for Baphomet. This is my fire
It's like
Pokemon.
bowing down, bowing
I thought
down
that
to
was
our.
kind of funny to like put his hands in that way. I actually really like this. Is one that I think I do like. I think it's just kind of I had fun doing it, like
I like the shapes.
making it a little sillier.
I think the shapes are really cool. I think I think putting it on its hind legs was a really good idea as well because Pokemon they they do love them some sheep Pokemon. So you
Yeah,
did have uh some competition there,
We've got
but
Mareep and its line, and then we have Wooloo and its line as well. So and then we have Go-Goat, which is not necessarily the
yeah,
same
that's
thing,
the
but
grass type, right?
yeah, it's not necessarily a ram or anything, but it does have like horns and stuff. So yeah, I did want to make this one like different from those two things. And ultimately, I'm fine with the way it turned out. I like it much more than the
I
grass
think this one
starter.
might be my favorite so far. Yeah.
I
I like
I'm not
this.
really happy with any of the colors that I did. You can see I came up with a name there, a name suggestion, Flammable for my middle one. So we
Right.
have Hotten, which is the little baby
Cotton.
little baby sheep. It's I originally was like, oh, hot and like cotton, but then I was like, oh, that doesn't quite make sense because it's wool, not cotton. But then I kind of saved it because mutton is like another word for like a sheep. So I was like, okay, hot and mutton, that works. Flammable, I think it's fun, a fun name. Uh, I did make them a little less dark than I intended to. I intended to make them almost like an Incineroar type color palette, but I ultimately
Hmm.
just, I don't know, for whatever reason, I think I was rushing a little bit to try and just get them colored and finished and everything like that. But yeah, Ramferno is the final evolution. I did try and make a name work with Baphomet, but I couldn't think of anything funny.
Baphomet.
Baphomet. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's I like it. I think
Thanks.
it's cute. The first one, I really like that first. That's hot.
I just think it's funny
Oh,
because he's like what I envision is like this little sheep that's just like so full of like wool that he just kind of rolls around everywhere, which I know is a little bit what they did with Wooloo, but I'm talking like his legs are like just the little tiniest of nubs that he can barely even walk. But yeah, so that's my fire line. I'm excited for you to do your water, and then I get to do my water, which is my favorite one. So,
Okay. Okay. So this is Marpal. Um,
oh,
so this is based off of. I started to look up some Italian folklore and legends and mythical creatures and stuff, and a lot of them are really fucked up and terrifying. A lot of them were like witches and a lot of serpent based creatures, but I found one, uh, and it's I think it's called the Maracaba, uh, and it's this tale of this monster that lives in wells, and it waits for children to be playing around them or to fall in them and abducts them. It's really scary,
so
but
he'll
I
be in the
thought,
same group as like Drowsy and Hypno and Drifloon and all the child abducting Pokemon.
yeah, well, so this is my play on it, so it's a little bit different.
Okay.
So he's kind of like this like starfish Cthulhu squid type creature.
Interesting.
But I wanted to draw it from multiple angles, but I was under a time constraint, and so it didn't happen. But you may notice that there's like a disc on his back, and that is actually a manhole cover.
Okay.
And so what it will do is it's kind of like a beaver. It really likes to block things, so it will actually block wells to keep people from falling into them. So similar to like a Snorlax, sometimes in the wild you'll see this thing like blocking certain waterways and stuff, and you'll have to like give it a treat or something in order for it to go away.
Here, please take my child.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really like this one. I think it's really cute. I also, I really wanted to make my Pokemon very fantasy creature-esque and keep it from anything like. I mean, this one's kind of humanoid, but I really wanted it to be like, oh, I don't really know what kind of animal this is. It's kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different stuff. I'm just kind of drawn to this kind of style, anyways.
I like the one eye. I like the Cyclops thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Marpal, and then it evolves into Bekapal.
Oh.
And so this one gets a little bigger. Its arms get a little longer. Water. It's almost like flaming. It's like this water that kind of like leaks out of its arms, but in like a really cool looking way. I don't know how to explain it.
Like in an anime.
Yeah, yeah, like in Steven Universe.
Yeah.
How
Lapis's
wings. Yeah. Its manhole cover gets a little bigger, so it's able to cover or block more larger things.
It requires
this,
larger children.
Teenagers. And it gets a big old tongue.
Ooh.
I also, out of all of my Pokemon that I've made, this one has the coolest shiny in my opinion. I really like the color scheme for the shiny versions.
That, yeah.
So Bekapal later evolves into Aguapal. And now he's just kind of like this really oversized squid. Manhole cover gets even bigger. I really tried to incorporate. I loved the hair in the first stage, and then as soon as I finished the last stage, I was like, "God damn it! I forgot to include the hair on the middle stage, and I really wanted to do something with the hair on this stage, but this was like half an hour before we were recording, so I was like, okay, well, I'll bring back the water, and we'll have it like form like this kind of gooey thing on the hair."
It's giving me very yokai vibes. Like, yeah, one eye, large tongue.
That's what the last stage of my grass starter kind of reminded me of a yokai, and this one definitely has that vibe too. And here's all three of them next to each other. I feel like there's not enough unique attributes being introduced with each evolution. So
that's how I feel for mine.
Yeah, I'd
Mm.
like to go back and try to change this and add one or two special things. Like the middle one kind of introduces the tongue,
Mm.
but that last one doesn't really. It introduces like two additional arms, but I'd like it to be a little bit more.
Yeah.
Uh, but here are all of my lines next to each
Oh,
other.
I wish I did that.
Uh,
I like
yeah, I
that.
think at the end of my series, or uh, once I've finished all of my Pokemon designs for this, I want to have like a graphic of all of our Pokemon next to each other.
Mhm.
I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah,
We'll
uh,
do one of those cross region things.
yeah, we'll have to have a fictional Pokemon battle between our Pokemon. But yeah, I think all these, I think they all fit well together aesthetically, as in regard to it fitting with the rest of the series. Maybe. I think the final stage. I think the fire Pokemon, all the fire Pokemon. I don't think it would fit well with the Pokemon aesthetic, but the other ones I think are like rooted just enough to maybe fit in.
The
But
fire
yeah.
ones, the
Anyways.
fire ones definitely remind me of like maybe like a Digimon design more, like just because there's like
Mm-hmm.
armor and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing when the last the one on the far right, the final evolution of the fire one, the eyes really remind me of a Digimon and the mouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are all my starters.
Okay. So, uh, grass Pokemon are usually extinct. Fire Pokemon are usually part of the Chinese zodiac, and then water Pokemon usually incorporate some sort of weapon. So,
Yeah,
for mine, I wanted to have a hammerhead shark, and I thought that would kind of immediately
I
knock
already love this
knock out
concept.
the weapon requirement. But then I was like, okay, I don't like a shark. Like, how am I going to make that work? I had to make it stand, I think, to make it like a Pokemon. Because I don't know. There's not been like a.
Like an anthropomorphic.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't love the feet, I guess. Like, I feel like I wish I had found a better way to do it. But I just couldn't think of like how this Pokemon would travel around with you. So then I kind of started playing with bigger versions of it. Eventually, I in my mind, like I couldn't not have like some sort of like Swampert, Mega Swampert like final evolution. That was kind of my inspiration. So eventually, I pull in a photo of Mega Swampert. Yeah, here.
Oh wait,
Uh,
oh yeah, I was about to say
I wanted
we
him
should
like
pull
a
up the time
big,
lapse.
beefy, like just hammerhead, like looking. I don't know. I love him. This is my
I mean, the
favorite.
fact that it's rooted in a shark automatically guarantees that I'm going to love this.
uh,
Yep.
yeah, I thought it was fun. I do wish that I.
Wait. Have you?
What?
Can you pull up the time lapse?
Oh, I'm doing that right now. Sorry, I've been talking over it the whole time.
Yeah, I was kind of like, man, what are you gonna say when you start the? This is a lot of exposition to share before showing me the time lapse.
Okay, I'll rewind a little bit. Okay, you see it?
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So obviously it's a shark. You just heard everything I
I
just
love
said.
this. Oh, I
Uh,
love the teeth.
so I don't go with either of these. Is kind of what I was saying. Like I don't go with anything that's like uh, swimming or whatever. I make it stand, which is
Aw,
what I'm doing right
I
now.
love the teeth here.
I was definitely inspired by some like Crobat like teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely just got to get the little Crobat,
Aw,
little underbite, and I figured to differentiate between like my starter evolution and my middle evolution, I could have my middle evolution like frowning or like doing something that's like the starter is like really happy and the middle evolution's like I'm a teenager like they usually are.
eh.
uh, I
Oh, it'd be really neat if it had like a surfboard or something.
So that is partially an inspiration for this Pokemon. As you can see, they have multiple
Yeah.
fins on the top, which is similar to like a surfboard, where it has like the
Uh huh.
three little fin things. So that's kind of what I was going for, like an Australian like surfer type Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so you can see now I brought in the Mega Swampert. I wanted a big, beefy hammerhead shark friend.
I love this. This is so cool.
Ultimately, this is the one that I am happiest with. I think it came out the best. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. This is,
so I
man.
start to rework
It looks like
the
it has
middle
like some
evolution a
swim
little
trunks
bit.
on.
Yeah, the middle evolution, I wanted him to be like I kept thinking like teen, like he's got like half closed eyes, he's got board shorts, he's got this little funny pose. uh, and then I will. It's still going, I guess. What am I? Oh, I'm about to ink
Yeah,
it.
you're doing some solidified or some final
I
line work
don't.
for it.
I don't love the colors I chose. I think all of the Pokemon I did today, I would probably choose different colors for. I just was like, this was kind of the first thing I did. Just like I tried one or two colors, and I'm about to do it. I think I don't love it.
Man, what the fuck? These are so cool.
This is my favorite one for sure.
Yeah, I definitely see why it's your favorite. This is so, like, man.
And I will read their names now. Oh, let's see. So,
Yeah, that one's like by far like
but definitely,
that
definitely
one's
my favorite of all of the ones I
yeah,
did. Okay,
that's
so
cool.
my starter evolution is Sharkit. So it's the shark, and then Kit is like usually. I thought of a couple different reasons for Kit. It's like
Like a baby.
it's a baby. It's also like a hammer, so I was thinking like a toolkit. So like Shark Kit.
Oh, okay.
Next we have Jammerhead. So this is kind of
Ooh,
where like
edgy.
it's Jammer in terms of like he's doing a little cool thing with his arms. He's like a kind of chill like surfer guy. And I was thinking like Wind Jammer is like a thing. I don't really know, but I know it's like a boat thing. So Jammerhead, and then Hammerjaw, which is kind of a reference to Jabberjaw, is the final evolution. I wish that I had kept him lighter blue all over like the other ones. I don't know why in my brain an hour ago I was like, oh, he has to be palette swapped from the other ones, so he looks more different. But yeah,
Hmm.
overall, I really like these. This is my favorite line. I had a lot of fun doing it. This was the first one I actually worked on. And the other two was just like I was out of creative juice and I didn't have anything else to give.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think for Hammerjaw, I definitely see there being like some sort of texture on him, but
Mm.
other than that, like, man, the like just shark based things are always really cool
Yeah,
because
yeah,
not a lot of people make like anthropomorphic or like shark based things, and whenever they do, you get like Sharpedo, where it's like very,
yeah.
you know,
It is
I love
it
this.
is
This is so
so
cool.
strange to me that we don't have like one more shark Pokemon. Two, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have a dolphin Pokemon. Like these like every Pokemon that I'm creating is to kind of address an issue that I have with the series and like what they're not including. I'm like, we don't really have a dolphin. We don't have like a we have Sharpedo, but it's so stylized because it's supposed to also be a torpedo that it's yeah, it's technically a shark, but also kind of not a shark in my eyes.
Well, also there's always like several different Pokemon that use an animal as inspiration, and it's
Sure.
weird that they used a shark once, and then they were
Yeah,
just like, all right, well that's it.
yeah. I'm like sharks are
Um,
so cool. They should have multiple Pokemon. But yeah, no. So we've got we don't really have like a proper tiger. We've got like an Arcanine, which is definitely a dog, but it looks like a tiger. We've got Raikou, which is probably the closest thing, but also like there's that whole thing like they're called legendary dogs, so still like the stripes are definitely like they call to a tiger design, but they're not. I don't know.
Incineroar, I think, is
Oh
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a
You're right.
like
You're right.
that
You're
line.
right. I wasn't thinking about that, but
Yeah.
but it took us how long to get there? But yeah, that was my favorite one. What did you, I guess, enjoy the most about this process, and what did you enjoy least about it?
Um, I'll go ahead and cover my least favorite now. I think just the deadline. I think establishing a concept is always really fun, but when you're working with a deadline, because sometimes just when you're creating things, your creative juices don't adhere to like sometimes you have the time to work on it, but like, man, you just can't think of anything.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is just kind of being, you can restrict yourself to like the Pokemon pattern, or kind of like, you can play around with like things that they haven't done, and which is what you were just talking about before, and I think that was also fun, just pretending that, believing that, I'm in charge now, so what would I do different? And
you're all fired.
Yeah, get out of here.
I'm the head of this company now. I own 51%.
But I think that was my favorite part, is just imagining these Pokemon lines interacting with the regular Pokemon, and also just imagining like story beats in this region that I made, and like, I could totally picture you going into the observation tower at the end of the game, and at the end you have your Van Ghoul with you, and he's like riding in the elevator with you as you go fight the final boss or whatever. But I think that's also really neat, and just seeing them all next to each other too when I was finished, and the final graphic of all the lines, was just really appealing to see too. Yeah. What about you?
So my favorite thing was I love constraints that, like, I guess that I've given to myself, but like, I love working within constraints that I'm like, okay, here are my guidelines. Like, I need to do, a water Pokemon that calls to a weapon. I need to do a fire Pokemon that's part of the Zodiac. I need to do a grass Pokemon that's an extinct animal. I love working within those guidelines. Kind of like working within like a brand guideline when you're like doing like graphic design work. I love that.
Yeah.
It's nice. It kind of gives your mind like a direction to go in. So I enjoyed that. I did not enjoy. I had a really tough time with the middle evolutions for all of them. I feel like I don't feel like they're transformative enough, and I also feel like I came up with the ideas like as we started recording and like coming up with this idea for the series. I like had these ideas and then didn't do anything with them until 2 days ago, and my brain just like wasn't in that same spot, and I kind of wish that I had done some sketches like when I was in that like headspace to like give myself some inspiration now. I think it would have saved me a lot of time. Knowing what I like wanted to do or taking it in a new direction, but like knowing that that's originally what I had in mind. So, well, thank you all for watching. We have, 3 more episodes after this one. Next week, we'll be doing the protagonist and the antagonist teams. After that, we'll do the gym leaders. And then after that, we will be doing our final episode of the series where we will do the story and the box art legendary, which I am most excited for. I say it every week.
Yep. We hope you enjoyed watching this. There's lots of other stuff similar to this on our channel, so check that out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and follow us on social media at DeskPopcast on all social media platforms.
Yeah.
Even Facebook.
Even Facebook.
Yeah. even Facebook for like the 2 people that
we got our data stolen Facebook. Just for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
all right.
Well, bye.
Goodbye. See you next week.